Well, if this turns out to be true, it will be huge. A new rumor seems to suggest a classic DC tale will be at the center of James Gunn's Justice League. Let's break down what story it's going to be and why I think this is an awesome choice. Well, when DC Studios first gave us all their new projects for Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, many of us totally noticed there was no mention of a Justice League movie, and that seemed kind of odd. Now, in many ways, it really wasn't a surprise considering everything that went wrong with the 2017 effort, but it's been pretty clear at some point all these heroes are going to come together, and the main question has been, what will James Gunn be pulling from in order to create this upcoming project? Well, over the last 48 hours, I've started to see a rumor report that seems to indicate it could pull directly from one of the most classic comics ever. Now, like we always say, it's not from James Gunn or DC Studios, so we want to take it with a grain of salt. I have been able to track down the original article to the direct, and from there, many people have taken it and run with it, giving it a bit of momentum. Now, what the report is saying is that the upcoming Justice League movie will be based on Darwyn Cooke's New Frontier. Now, this is considered by many to be one of the best DC comics ever, and even was turned into an animated movie a few years ago. Now, it seems like a bit of an odd choice, because this particular story is typically set pretty far in the past, in the early days of the DC universe, but it does kind of work for what James Gunn is doing and sees the Justice League reluctantly finally come together to take on a villain known as the Center. Now, it's perfectly fine if you've never heard of the Center before. I've actually only ever seen him in this particular series, but it is a being that was born at the core of the Earth and has been observing human activities for millions of years through telepathy. It's also known as Dinosaur Island. And yes, this particular project would indeed see the Justice League basically going to Jurassic Park, taking on various forms of dinosaurs, or at least dinosaur spawn. It is not only a primordial entity, but it is a sentient island, making it a very unique and super sci-fi villain for this potential Justice League project. Now, apparently the Center will make its presence felt in several projects leading up to this, including the very first project, Creature Commandos, and The Authority. And these same reports seem to indicate that DC is so happy with The Flash, Andy Muschietti has been named as a possible candidate to helm the project. Now, I have to say, this is really the kind of villain that somebody like James Gunn I know would gravitate to. And it would be an interesting way to bring a bunch of reluctant heroes together in a pretty cool way. Darwyn Cooke's New Frontier really would be one of the best ideas I think they could run with, and is a spectacular way to introduce several new characters and basically solidify this new DC universe that James Gunn has been developing now for about a year. Now, in these same reports, we heard a couple of other possible DC projects, which included Peacemaker Season 2, Lobo, Mr. Terrific, Animal Man, and Superman vs. The Authority. But where they would fit in the whole timeline, we're really going to have to wait and see. Apparently, New Frontier would conclude Chapter 1 and basically round out this first part of the story. Now, the key here with this report is whether James Gunn has squashed it yet, and it's been around a couple of days, and I've seen no debunking report. We are going to pay close attention to his social media, and I know some people have already tagged him, so I'm kind of shocked he hasn't debunked it yet, leading me to believe this one could possibly be true. But we're going to have to wait and see.